So we're building on the previous conversations we've been having about what's a good life in Druids Heath and what people would like to see a bit more generally. So going a bit deeper really, kind of taking that conversation to another level. So really specifically talking to people about some of the concepts that are emerging, some of the things that are coming out, trying to get people's opinions on what they're, a bit deeper about what they'd like to see, maybe where they'd like to see some of those things. But just continuing that conversation to say what kind of community do you want this to be, and what would good look like with the regeneration.
Well, I can honestly say this is the most involvement that's ever been taken in regards to, because we've heard about the regeneration for donkey's years and nothing seems to take place.
It's very encouraging actually, yeah. It's nice to see something happening.
It seems great ideas, they all seem great ideas. I think it'll make it a lot safer. Like I have 2 young children at the moment, I wouldn't let them play outside or go to the park closest to me. If it was more like that, then I'd definitely think more about letting them play out.
It's good to see something down on paper fast. We have been waiting for some time to see things done around here.
It's nice to see these kind of things happen, and I've heard a few things about what people might want, and I think it's a good idea how we should change the place up after a few years.
We had begun this kind of idea of the big conversation. So what is important to you? What do you like about Druids Heath? What could be improved? So to get some general kind of concepts, and that got turned then into some design concepts that then the architect worked with. And what we've been doing today is going back to residents and saying, are these design concepts in line with what we think you were saying, and then what do you think about those design concepts? So that's the journey that we've been on to date.
Pioneer have been asking residents what they like about where they live, what they don't like, or what they potentially want to see. And so these design concepts that we've come up with, we've sort of turned those conversations and what we've heard into ideas to help residents visualise that. And there's a number of those.
They're very conceptual at this stage, but we've looked at various elements. There's obviously the community facilities, community hub, and that includes possible like Manaford Hall or the youth centre and the library, looking at that as an element. We're also looking at the green spaces, how those benefit the estate and what could be done to improve them as well. And we've also been looking at links through the estate, possibility of getting links across the Dell and the Village Green across the canal if we can do that. So those are some of the elements that we've been looking at this stage.
Yes, I think it would look a lot better than what the area looks like at the moment, and it's something more for the children to do as well. So we have got quite a few children around Druids Heath, and it's just easy to get them off the street. It's something more suitable for them, and it would just make the area look 10 times better than what it does at the moment.
It sounds like they're going to do a lot more, so the children have a lot more to do, which is a good thing, Of any age, 12 should have something to do around here, there's nothing.
Yeah, I think we've recognised, and the community recognised, there's a lot of green space in Druids Heath, and it's a lot of that. There's the village green, there's also sort of grassland areas, and it's giving some of those areas a function, or play spaces, or better connectivity, maybe a cycle path, and that leads on to the bridge over the canal. So it's giving some function to those spaces and improving on those spaces that already do exist.
We've had some interesting ideas, some of the residents, the fruit gardens and things like that, and someone's talked about allotments, and then there's obviously play areas as well, but different ideas and natural style play areas as well that we're looking at.
The bridge is a really good idea. Yeah. So to do quite a bit of walking around here, the bridge is a good idea, and the green spaces as well, because there's plenty of space around here for everybody.
Yeah, so obviously we go for lots of walks around the area because we're not good at staying in. We like to be active and go out a lot. So we've got a canal close by us, but the only issue we have with the canal, there's no bridge, so you can't walk to the other side. So they get really agitated when they want to go to the other side of the canal. So perhaps maybe more bridges put in place for when you're going for walks by the canal side, so you can actually walk over and see the other side of the canal. A few more footpaths to be able to access the little woodland areas we've got close by as well.
I think it's a wonderful idea, to be perfectly fair. There's a lot of greenery in Druids Heath. We're surrounded, we're very lucky for a council estate to have so much greenery, but we need the buildings to match what we have got, because it's been left for so long with no real work that's took place on this area. So therefore, to have anything like that would be wonderful.
What I would like to see more is like more greenery, to be honest. Because I like adventuring, and if there was more greenery, I would be able to adventure closer to greenery.
We got lots of green spaces, but it could be more interesting. And I think from the plans we've seen, it's possible, more trees and other interesting features.
I think, I've picked up that people are really quite excited about some of the concepts that are coming out. I think they're still quite concerned about housing and some of the issues that the area faces around unemployment and access to jobs and community infrastructure. I think people are still concerned that there's not enough infrastructure. But I think people are excited about the idea of a village square. I think they're excited about improvements to green spaces and parks, and I think they just want it to get going. I think the feeling I have from people is just get on with it, make this happen.
At my age now, I have noticed it's uphill if you're disabled or you're like me, because with my ailments that I have, every now and again, like today I'm perfect, but some days I can't walk and I can't stand, and then it's going up that hill.
With some more houses being built to improve the transport links, maybe train stations, cycleways and things like that, which I think they're going to look at.
Secondary schools I think is an issue, especially if you're going to be a parent like me where you've got one in secondary school and one in junior school. It makes it a bit more difficult, so since losing Bavistock obviously.
The principle is we want to get easier and safer access for everybody in the whole of Druids Heath East area that we're looking at the moment. And to do that, we'd like to get easy access to all the facilities that the public want to use. And so it's the location of these facilities which is a key. Also the accessibility to that as well, so there's level access for people. There might be cycle routes coming in, there might be better pedestrian lit areas as well, just to make the place more secure and amenable for people to use. There's a thing that we're taught from very early days, and it's called defensible space, so it's a secure space for a home. And at the moment, some of the layouts mean that there's alleyways and there's back walkways which aren't secure for people.
And there's a lot of alleyways, and there's a lot of places where you can't see. Like my daughter only has to go around the corner, and she's in a really alleyway which is quite long.
So what we try and do is alleviate that issues like that, and they can be designed out. And all new homes that we design have this element of security about them. Also, cars are a big issue for people. The layouts of the estate at the moment means that people can't necessarily park next to their house. Any new home that we do will have a car parking space in Kirtledge with the property that the resident is in.
So the idea is for new homes to front onto play spaces or pocket parks, or to front onto the town square to create some natural surveillance where people feel safer.
That does sound a good idea, and it also makes people feel, I should imagine, I know how I would feel, that we're all on the same path. I think it's a good idea that you can see out. That would also make you feel better. I know with the people in the bungalows, when I used to visit a couple of the old ladies in the bungalows who lived by themselves, they loved their window looking out because I felt alive. Do you know what I mean? They like seeing the kids doing whatever they're doing and people passing, and they don't feel so lonely, so I think that's
We've recently got some funding to do some forest school sessions in Druids Heath, and that's worked really well with the Regeneration, because from the research they've been doing and all the questions they've been asking and all the consultations, it's been highlighted they want to be using the green space a lot more. So it's, you know, the connection's been fantastic there, and it's, you know, they've reached out to me in doing the forest school, so that's worked really, really well.
One of the problems that we've got is there isn't enough room for the community organisations. We definitely do need more space. You know, we've got a community centre and it's brilliant. It's not big enough to be able to cope with everybody, you know, all the different things that go on. So, you know, if we could have a bigger community centre that we could put the radio station in. Also, we could create jobs that way as well, because we haven't really got that many jobs around here. So, you know, with everything going forward into digital, then I think we need to be able to, you know, if we could teach the kids to do some coding, or, you know, give them access to things like Photoshop, you know, like the Adobe suite, things like that. At the radio station we've got all that, but we'd like to be able to have a space to be able to do things, so we could do some more training with people.
There's a couple of different answers to that, you know, if people will excuse me. So one is everybody, because every household should have got a survey kind of through the door. So that means that literally everybody can feed into the process. And as the website goes live, that also means that literally everybody can feed into the process. But it's probably about I think the number we got was 940 people, I think, who've actually been engaged in some form of physical conversation. So whether that's a doorstep conversation, whether that's we've come along to a group or to their school, or have come along to the community events that we did, either in the big conversation or the design workshops that we've done today. So a good number of people so far, with the ability, like I say, for absolutely everybody to make a contribution to it. And it's not too late to do that. It's not too late to go on the website and give us a comment. It's not too late to fill in a survey. And it's definitely not too late to come along to the next lot of community events, which will be where you'll get to see what the design looks like. And you'll still have an opportunity to say what you think about that.
We've had about 170 attended today, and I think the thing that I've noticed is there's a definite buzz in the audience today. There's a lot of excitement about this process, which has been really good to see. We've got an event looking to engage with older people. We looked at our demographic data, and they were a group that were a bit underrepresented, so we're doing a particular piece of work next week. Hopefully we'll get a good attendance there.
I mean, I think the most important thing about the regeneration is just making sure people keep being informed, making sure that people are still in the loop. I think making sure that their opinions are forming the plans, and I think, you know, and that it is holistic. You know, it's not just about building some houses. I think you know, this is about community infrastructure. You know, this is about parks, green spaces, sports facilities. You know, this is about a general enhancement of the community, and I think that's what people are, you know, that's what people are excited about. But I think just keeping people informed and just keeping the momentum going, I think that's really, really important. I think, you know, people want to see, well, what's the next phase, what's the next phase without big gaps. So I think that's going to be the most important bit of the